Hello successful people, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Yes, thank you to almost 800 subscribers. I am very glad. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for being faithful. Thank you for always watching our videos. Thank you for dropping comments. Yes, thank you for dropping. Like when I see the comments, when you watch it, even though I see the views, but then I'm like, did someone just click and then they mistakenly click and they went back or what? But when you drop your comment, it actually makes me confirm that you saw the video and it was useful to you, it was helpful to you. So I am really glad. Thank you so much. This is not an appreciation video, but we're going to talk about something, but I really want to take some time to appreciate all of our subscribers. Thank you so much. I did not take you for granted. You could have gone somewhere else, decided not to subscribe, but you are here and I am glad. Thank you so much. If there have been any of our videos that have been helpful to you in one way or the other, kindly drop in the comment section below and tell me which of our videos you really watched the video and it helped you a whole lot and you really thought that we should do more of these videos. Just drop in the comment section or just go and comment on the video. Okay, and if you've not been telling your friends about this page, you've not been doing evangelism about Losodium's YouTube channel, why you say we're going to help each other on this channel. So please just tell your friends about us, and let them also benefit, because we'll be dropping loads and loads of content. So today, I think there's a way I say today, it's just somehow, but today we are going to be talking about something different, not so different, still related to fashion, but a bit different from what we talk about. Most times we talk about maybe pricing, something about tools or fashion designing. Today, yes, we're talking about fashion designing, but I would like to target a part of fashion designing that is a gold mine that most people are not tapping into. Yes, a lot of people are not tapping into this aspect of fashion designing, and of course from the topic you might have seen it. Today I'll be talking about how to be a good fashion instructor ready for employment. Even if you just finished fashion school, or even if you just graduated from fashion school. Yes, and trust me, I am going to be teaching you based on experience. So this is not just something that I read somewhere and I am teaching you. Everything I'll be saying in this video today is based on experience. I have had the opportunity to work in two different fashion institutes as a fashion tutor. I am presently still working in one as a fashion, actually three plus mine anyway, but but I'm presently still working in one. In 2018, I had the opportunity to work in a fashion school somewhere around Akwa Ibom in Nigeria. And I also had the opportunity to train corpers during their NYSC period, and I am presently working. So let's just say on the average, I've had almost like 3 years experience in working as a fashion tutor. Almost 3 years experience. Yes, almost 3 years working as a fashion tutor. Okay, working as a fashion tutor. So I think that I might be able to explain or tell you some things that I have seen in that sector, and I think will be helpful for you if you are coming in. You are probably just graduating from fashion school and you don't want to be sewing for yourself, yes, or sewing for customers. You just want to teach and you don't want to start on your own first. You want to work with someone, which is a gold mine that a lot of people are not looking out for. But working with people over time, working in a fashion school, both a award-winning fashion school and different kind of fashion schools, I can say a couple of things that can help you. All right, so first of what I want to say is a lot of people are not tapping into this aspect. Now there is an issue, I don't want to call it a problem, but problem and issue, there's really no big difference. There is an issue in the fashion industry whereby when everybody wants to go to a fashion school. So when they go to a fashion school and they graduate, they almost 90% or 99% of the people graduating from the fashion schools are hoping to open their own fashion house and start sewing. Now, as much as there's nothing wrong with that, but can we think out of the box for a little while? Can we think about what other areas of fashion can I tap into? We have a lot of tailors that are sewing for people. That's why when you open, sometimes you don't get customers. Why? Because there are just a lot of people. There's tailor here, tailor there. You enter one street, you have like 10 tailors on the street. And the truth is, because all of them are going to fashion schools, quite a number of them are good. So it's not a thing of, oh, I am more expert than they are. What if all of you are experts? So there's a part, whereas there's a part of that fashion schools also opening. So people who are opening fashion houses, when they begin to have more clients and all of that, people tend to come in and say, I want to learn. You are good. I want to learn from you. And then they start opening fashion houses. And over time, they become overwhelmed with orders for customers that they might not have enough time to start training students. So a problem arises. They need a fashion tutor or a fashion instructor. There's nobody that wants to do that, or the number of people who are capable to be a fashion instructor are limited. The number of people who are out there that are capable to teach what they know and even teach in the right way are limited. A lot of people are just being trained and training up themselves to just go and sew. That is good, but in this video, I'm trying to explain that the aspect of tutoring as a fashion designer is an untapped mine in the fashion industry that a lot of people are not going into. You want to ask fashion school owners how difficult it is when they are sourcing out or they are looking out to employ fashion instructors. It's either they don't have a lot of people, or they end up having someone who is not really up to standard, or they end up having someone who they ask to train. But do you realize that if you are well trained and you are well trained before you get employed, you know what you want, you are ready to be the fashion instructor? Points to note: you cannot be totally prepared. So I'm not saying that, oh, you should be all prepared. Especially now, if I'm using the phrase of the phrase in the topic we are discussing, which is that even after you've graduated from fashion, even after you just graduated from fashion school, so it means you don't have so much experience. But now, so that you won't go through a lot of process, I'm trying to bring down everything I've learned and in a couple of years training students, and also working hand in hand with different fashion schools and even students and other fashion tutors. I'm bringing them. So this video works well for you if you are hoping to be a fashion instructor and you are like, what do they look out for? What are the things I'm supposed to be doing? They might not give you a memo or what operation procedure as to, okay, what to do or how to do it. They might just leave you like, okay, you've been employed, go ahead and go and start teaching students. This is the method we use. So are you going to help yourself? Are you going to not have issues? Are you not going to extend the students' training period? How do you get the most out of what you have? How can you give the best out of what you have? Okay, so that's what I want to talk about in this video. And also, this video is helpful for you if you are a fashion school owner hoping to employ a fashion instructor. These are some of the things that you can really look out for in a good fashion instructor, that you know that this person will not give you so much problem. So I'm saying this so that people who want to be a fashion instructor can work on themselves so that they are employable to people who are looking for fashion instructors. Okay, so I'm going to start with that and chip in. So I wrote a couple of things down. This note I'm going to teach you from is some things that I jotted down a couple of months ago that I saw over time. Like, okay, let me take a time to study what is going on in this aspect. Okay, so like I said before, there are real life experiences that I think can be helpful to you. So if you are looking out to be a good fashion instructor, so what I mean by that is being able to produce the right result. So it's not so easy to say that you are coming in to train a couple of students, and for example, maybe you are teaching people that have no idea about fashion, and then you have to produce them after, say, 2, 3, 4 months having the ability to sew. So how do you pass that knowledge across in the best way? How do you ensure that they receive that information from you in the best way? So I've written down some things in terms of behavior, in terms of how to pass out knowledge in different areas. Just as it comes, just grab it. Okay, so the number one point that I wrote is, first off, when you are teaching, the best way to even teach, so or doesn't mixing how to teach as well, is for you to understand the principles. So if I am saying that this dress form is here, and then the part with the widest red band is the waistline, and then what is the principle behind that? If I can explain. Now, when I talk about principles are things that you can apply to not just one thing, but any other thing that are also in line with that same thing. So I hope I didn't confuse you. So when I say principle, I'm trying to define it in the simplest term. Principle is the fact that if you jump up, you come down. Anything that has mass and jumps up will surely come down because of gravity. That's a principle. So it means that anything whatsoever that has mass, if it jumps up, it will come down. So it means that even though a human being jumps up and come down, the fact that you've told me the principle is not only applicable to human beings, it also means that if I throw a stone up, it will come down because it has a mass. So the same way, if I say that every part that dips in around here is the waist, every part that dips in before the hip is the waist, it means that, and I say that principle applies to every human body except for children. It means that even if you have a big tummy, there is a part of your waistline that dips in, regardless of your big tummy is in front. Your waistline can be viewed from the side. Is a principle. So the same way with fashion designing and pattern making, if there's a principle that, oh, we have to measure waist to hip, we have to measure this to this, and then yeah, it's different for different people, it helps you explain it better to the students. So you don't just guess, and it helps you to also, it guides you on how to answer questions. Because if you don't know your onions and you go and start teaching, students will ask you questions. If you say you don't know, students expect you to be far better than they are. Okay, they expect you to be far better than they are. So even if you are not far better than they are, but you are able to answer their questions. And so one point that I'll give, that the best way to be able to answer questions is to understand principles. So for example, if I'm saying a cap sleeve is any sleeve that does not have a covering, it doesn't have a seam joining at the underarm. So it is, when you open your arm, you can see the armpit is bare. However, there are some that have now been readjusted for size sake, you know, for creativity. But the basic principle, so for you to, the question becomes, how do I identify a cap sleeve? So you gave me a principle. Any sleeve I see that when they open their arm like this, the whole side is not covered, there's no seam onto the armhole, is a cap sleeve. It makes it easy for me to see any cap sleeve anywhere, any sleeve anywhere, and see that this is a cap sleeve, because there's a principle that is governing that. The same way with, if I'm seeing anything that looks like a drape here and they told me they use pattern for it, it means that the principle of slash and spread has been applied. What slash and spread does is adds fullness to a part of the garment. So what they've done with that fullness there is to fold it and let it form drapes. So if you are telling me there's a design here, you're telling me to interpret this design, it means that I need to think and understand what can help me achieve this design. There are several principles in fashion design. One of it is slash and spread, and that can help me. Judging by what I have, that it is an addition of the actual pattern, there's an extra there which was pleated, then that principle helps me. So when you explain, when you understand how something was achieved, the way it was achieved and why it was achieved. So it's not just like come down by 2, come down by 3. Why are we doing that? Just come down. So I'm giving an example now. If you say just come down, first, you're not passing the information right, because when you give it to the student like that, they just come down. They cannot also pass that information well to another person because they don't know why they are doing what they are doing. So for everything you explain, there should be a why. There should be a reason why they are doing it. And that means that you need to have the skill of critical thinking, ability to sit down and analyze and to know why something was done. Okay, so let me just move to the next point. Okay, so another point that I've noticed is trying to be a good fashion instructor. Over time, you need to be in control of your class. You need to be in control of your class. So what do I mean by that? There are times when Your students can make noise even while you are teaching. So not shouting, but murmuring to each other. So their focus is not on you. And there are times when they can all be silent, yet they are not listening to you. So when they are murmuring, it could be that they don't understand, or it could be that they lose interest already. When they are silent and it shows in their facial expression that they are not following you, it could be that they are confused, and it could be other things. So one thing first is always understand, read the facial expression. Don't just come to class and say, I came here today to come and teach. So I'm supposed to start by 10 and finish by 1. So I start teaching, and by the time it's 1 o'clock, I am done. I don't care about whether the student got it or not. You need feedback from the students, and you don't get the feedback at the end of the semester or at the end of their training. You get it every day in class. So here's what I said that can guide you. While you are teaching, at 5 minutes intervals, pause to see feedbacks. Pause to receive feedbacks, to look at their facial expression, their body expression, to see if first you still have their attention. So you can still see that they're still interested in what you're saying. And if they're looking at themselves, their body language still says that they understand what they're saying. Sometimes students might not really tell you they don't understand. Probably first, it could be that maybe it's just one person among them that does not understand. So she feels like, oh, let me not drag the whole class back. So let me just keep quiet. But if you come around to say, okay, this person, do you understand? When you ask them and you say, let me know, don't just say yes, I understand. Because even from their yes, you can detect that this person doesn't really understand. So, and you must really treat them as individuals, even though they are in one class, depending on the number of students you have. So if you have enough time, you could try to listen to them one by one, or look at those who look like they don't understand and call their names, so that they feel like they are part of the class. Because sometimes when they don't understand, they start falling, their interest starts reducing, and then they are thinking of something else. But the moment you call their name and say, Lola, do you understand this? So can you explain what I just said? It keeps them, so it reminds them, if they cannot respond to you that day, the next time you have a class, they pay attention, because they know it's possible my tutor might call my name today to explain. So they pay attention. So nobody wants to be embarrassed. And it helps you to keep them together. All right, so let's move to the next point. So another point I have is that you take upgrade courses as fashion tutors. Make research, take upgrade courses. Truth is, your students are looking up to you. For every fashion instructors who have students, you are like a mentor to your students. So they expect that you know more than them. That's their expectation. They expect that you know more than them. So if you don't know more than them, it drops you down. It reduces how they see you. So it's important that you don't remain where you are, what you know, because sometimes these students come. The truth is, I always say, some people who come to fashion schools don't even need fashion school. But this is what I've seen over time, that some of these people who come to fashion schools is because they know everything you're about to teach them. But one thing they lack is the confidence and the assurance that they actually know it. So you see some people in class and you feel like, this person knows this thing. I just explained it. So it's just sometimes when you say, I come down by 2, the person actually really comes down by 2 before they came to fashion school. But even it happens to almost a lot of us. Like, you are doing something, it works for you, but you're not really sure if that's the acceptable way of doing it. So you want to go to a standard place to confirm really if that is the right way of doing it, or you're just doing a guesswork. So the moment you start realizing that what they are doing is also what they are doing in fashion school is also what you have been doing in your own private place, then the confidence increases. So sometimes I feel like some of them come just for confidence. So those people already now know what you're about to teach them. So the moment you start stammering and you look like you don't know, you are not too sure, or you don't know so much about what you are teaching, students are funny, but you really, let me not go there, but you really want to know what you are teaching the students, okay? So I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to cut it now, and then we are going to continue in another part, all right? So that means there's going to be a part 2 to this. So just watch out for the part 2 to drop just after this one, okay? Drop a comment, drop a comment, drop a comment. Thank you, and subscribe, of course. If you don't subscribe, why? Just why?